Hello students, this video will show you how to use the Poetry Workshop HyperDoc independently. So start in Google Classroom and we are on assignment number 22, Poetry Workshop. Open that and then you'll see in the directions, it tells you to read the directions on the attached Poetry Workshop HyperDoc and to complete the assignments in order. And then there's a little timeline, and today we are doing the Create a Free Verse poem. So open the Poetry Workshop HyperDoc right here at the top, and you can leave it open in Classroom just like this. You do not have to open it in Docs. Now scroll down past Connect, past Learn, past Create a Rhyming Poem, and today we are on Create Free Verse Poems. And just read the directions with me. It says choose at least 2 of the following free verse poetry lessons. So you'll see 3 lessons. And then it says click here for the sensory details word list. These words will help readers visualize your poem. It says draft your poems on the top of your English journal doc. They will count for your weekly pages assignment. All right, so I'm going to take you through the first one. So click here for the feeling poems. Let's click there. And let me just move that. So it'll open up into slides, and you need to read each slide because those are the directions for how to write a feeling poem. So feeling poems show feelings with sensory details, similes, and metaphors. Click to slide 2. It says how to write a feeling poem. So first you're going to study the mentor text, and then second you're going to write your own feeling poem. And you'll see there are different hints about what the mentor texts are and ways to write your own feeling poem. So first, go to number 3. It says study the mentor texts. And as you read the example poems on the next few slides, think about how poets use sensory details, similes, and metaphors to express feelings. What we're doing is analyzing the author's craft. So go to slide 4 and you'll see that we have some poems about loneliness by published poets. First one, From the Daffodils by William Wordsworth. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. So stop and notice the feeling and how it is being shown with sensory details, things you can see and visualize. How loneliness is being compared to a cloud, which is a simile. And then it's also being compared to, it's being contrasted with the host of golden daffodils. So that's the opposite of the feeling of loneliness, which is a metaphor. And then go to the next slide, number 6. And it says, From Museum by Glenn Maxwell. As lonely as the dead awake, or God among the dinosaurs. As lonely as the dead awake. So lonely is being compared to 2 things, the dead awake or God among the dinosaurs, and that's a simile. And then this is the hardest poem number on slide 7, from Drawing from Life by Reginald Shepard. Look, I am building absence out of this room's air. I'm reading suppositions into summer script snarled on a varnished floor. It looks like a man that knots his hand, waving goodbye. So in the background is a varnished floor that is reminding the speaker of absence, or maybe loneliness, because the floor looks like a man. The knot on the floor is a man's hand waving goodbye. Okay, so 3 poems about loneliness. Now go to 8. You'll see Rage, a feeling poem by me, Miss McMillan. Rage is purple like a bruise and also like a grape squashed flat. It pulses through my ears, reminding me of the time my best friend let me down. It makes me feel cold like metal. So you can see that I used a simile in the first line, actually, and a metaphor. So I said rage is purple, which is a metaphor, and then like a bruise, which is a simile. And the whole thing is using sensory details to try to make you visualize this feeling of rage. You should be visualizing a squashed grape. You should be hearing it pulsing in your ears. A feeling of coldness. Okay, now I'm just going to show you some student examples and you can scroll with me. We have Sadness by Nancy. Sadness is deep blue like the ocean and like a dark blue pen. It sweeps through you and reminds you of the time someone you love died. It makes you feel like the world has ended. And another one by Nancy. Nervousness by Nancy. Nervousness is green like dying grass and like green gloop. It swims through my mind and reminds you of the time I first started kindergarten. It makes me want to go home and hide. It makes me feel like I'm the only person without a friend. So I love that simile of the dying grass at the top. It helps me visualize this feeling. Okay, so now your challenge. Choose a feeling, describe it with sensory details, similes, and metaphors. Compare the feeling to a thing or things. And you can click this blue sensory details hyperlink. It will open up and you will see, this is something you've seen before, a whole bunch of really great sensory detailed descriptive words to help you describe. So just know that that's there. I'm going to X out of it right now and go back to my slides. So double click your home button if you got away and go back to your slides. And then, so your first thing is to choose a feeling. So I have a few there on slide 14, or you can click here and you'll see I have some more feelings for you to choose from. So here are some more feelings. Okay, kind of look through there, choose a feeling. I'm going to double click the home button and go back to my slides. And now, there's a link to that sensory details word list, the same word list that I showed you before. You can click on it if you like. So you choose your feeling. Let's say you're choosing dismay, and then look for some words that'll help you really show dismay. Like maybe squeal, whine, whispered. Ooh, sticky's a good one. Then double click the home button and go back. And now go to the next slide. It says expert tip, show your feelings with things. So that first poet said, I wandered lonely as a cloud. You can see that there's a picture of a cloud. Think about what things you can compare your feeling to. So dismay makes me feel like a broken brick lying on the side of a wall, something like that. Okay, and then finally, I have here a scaffold. It's just a poem frame to get you started writing. Use it or not. What you have to do is what it says on slide 13, the challenge. Choose a feeling, describe it with sensory details, similes, and metaphors, and compare the feeling to a thing or things. If you want, you can use slide 17 to help you get there. And then look at the directions in orange on the side, which say you want to write your poem on your English journal. So here's what you want to do. On your iPad, take your finger up one, okay, and then either pull Drive or Docs to the corner. I'm going to choose Docs, and I'm going to pull it to the corner. If Docs wasn't already in your doc down below, you're going to have to put that there. And I'm going to just pull this over so I can see both. And you can see I already did this once as an example. I'm going to press the pen, but up here I wrote the date. I wrote yesterday's date, so let me put today's. And that's aligned on the left. And you can put it in bold like me if you want. Then the title is centered, so you press this to center it. It's weekly pages 12, free verse poems. And then you put your cursor here, kind of just put it right here, and you write your poem. And you can use 2 fingers to zoom in to see the frame. And so remember I was using the feeling of dismay. So I could put dismay is, what color is it? It is navy blue. Like a stagnant stream at night. And then you just, let's see, what's the period? Oh, comma. So use the punctuation. And then return. And also, like, what else is it? What else is navy blue and kind of dismay? A torn pant leg. Okay, see how I'm doing that? And then it, oh, period. Then you put it, and you think of a vivid action in through my, it limps in through my house. Okay. And it's a new line. and reminds me of the time. And you want to think of something that would go with this feeling. You get the idea. So that's how you do it. When you get done, write another feeling poem if you feel like you're on a roll, or double click the home button, go back to Classroom, and do one of the other types. You need to do two. So I have here a self-portrait poem or bio poem, and I also have find a poem. So you need two of the three types. Okay, and the drafts of them are due tomorrow in your English journal. If you have any questions, raise your hand if we're in class, or just send me a message on Neo or an email. Thanks for watching.